Hello, everyone. All right. Well, the day that it's been exactly 1 week. This is Friday. Last Friday was my last weigh-in day, and then I had a bunch of stuff going on. I did not post a video. I'm pretty sure I didn't post a video. I didn't post a video, but I was very excited because I had lost another pound that day. So happy. Living on fish and veggies. You can go a whole week with nothing really happening, and then all of a sudden, boom, things are happening great. And I didn't get on the treadmill at all that week because I was so busy doing everything else, getting ready for my weekend retreat. So there you go. A week of really not exercising, just eating like I had the whole week that I had a stall, and I lost a significant amount of weight in those last 4 days. I lost 4 pounds, really, according to the scale. So we ended on a good note. I went, how many total days? 20, 29, 30, 31, really. 31 days and I lost 16 pounds. Awesome, right? Awesome. Okay, so, I shouldn't even do these videos. I'm doing these videos because I'm trying to motivate myself to get back on track. So, okay, the weekend was an epic fail, as I knew it would be. I was seated in the place where I was right by the food the entire weekend. And when I say we have a lot of food, I am talking we have a 30-foot bar that goes around on 3 sides, completely covered in snacks and cakes and cookies and chips and pretzels and dips and you name it. It's all there. This particular weekend, I had the most people come that I ever have had. I had 80 women come for this weekend, a ton. There was no healthy food options. A couple people brought some small clementine, or somebody brought some small clementines. So there were about 7 clementines. I didn't see any other fruit. Usually there's all kinds of veggies and dips and stuff. Nothing. At this particular hotel I go to, we're not allowed to plug anything in, so we didn't have any crock pots. A lot of times we'll have like a bean dip or something like that. And then people will bring vegetables along to go along with that. But because we didn't have any of the crock pots, we didn't have any of that side stuff. I mean, they also bring a lot of chips to dip in there. But there's usually cheese and crackers or other kinds of dips that people make or spreads. None of that. Even in the homemade stuff, people will make like a veggie pizza. You know, the veggie pizza that you keep in the refrigerator and you bring out, has cream cheese and a lot of, is it really healthy? No, it's got that, I don't know if it's, I don't like any of those cheeses, but I do like it on the veggie pizza. Cream cheese, I think it is. Yeah, it's not sour cream. It's not cottage cheese. So it's cream cheese. So it's cream cheese on like a crescent roll base in a 13 by 9 inch pan. And then they have like cut up vegetables all over on top of it. Cut up broccoli, cut up tomatoes, peppers, all kinds of stuff. And it's like piled high with vegetables and so good. That would be considered something healthy on one of these weekends. On a normal diet would not be considered a healthy choice because of the cream cheese and because of the crescent roll as part of it. But on one of these weekends, that would be considered. I am telling you, it was nothing but desserts, 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 and chips and popcorn and pretzels and snacks, that kind of snacks. More desserts than we've ever had. Oh my goodness. So, yeah, the food was an epic fail for me. So I get back and I get on the scale, and I don't believe I got on Monday. I got on Tuesday. And it said I had gained, I hadn't figured out these numbers, 8 pounds, 7.5 pounds. Wasn't terribly concerned about it because I thought I didn't really gain 7.5 pounds in 3 days. But then I continued throughout the course of this week, all day I was eating all day Monday too. All these leftovers, all these, because then I bring all the like good food home. So I've got like the breaded chicken breasts and the buttered breadsticks and my pizza from Friday. So the food was also there. I'm just saying, in between the meals, there was a plethora of nothing good. So I came home with some extra bags that weren't opened of chips and pretzels. I mean, you name it. And even some of them that were opened, I brought home because they're just sort of like my favorites. I love like a cheesy popcorn. Okay. So into my house comes all this leftover stuff. When my husband helps pack things up, he just takes everything too. It's so bad. I just like want to throw most of it away when I'm there. And hope that most people take their stuff back, and most of them don't. And I get it because it's kind of just been out there, um, and I really shouldn't take it either. So anyway, we have all these desserts and all these snacks in our house, and then of course all this other food. So I am eating the pizza for lunch. I'm eating the breaded chicken and breadsticks and butter stuff for dinner. And in between, I am snacking on everything as if the retreat is still continuing throughout my entire day. Probably ate more because during the retreat, walking, 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 walking. The room where the majority of my women were scrapbooking was complete opposite end of the hotel from where our food room was, and that's where I was sitting, was in the food room with about 12 other scrapbookers. So I had to keep going down to the major room where the majority of my people were to do the prizes and the games and just, monitor product levels and make sure everything was okay, blah, blah, blah. So I did get a decent amount of exercise. Since I've been home, zero exercise. I've not got on the treadmill all week. So now we're going 2 weeks without getting on the treadmill. And yeah, and then according to the 7.5 pound gained. So each day I get on the scale, and then the next day it said I lost 0.2, and I'm like, okay, good. Yeah, I knew it was going to come down. Then the next day it went up by 2.5, and then the day after that it went up by 2, and then today it went up another 2. Yeah, yeah. According to my scale, according to my scale, from Friday last week till Friday this morning, I have gained 14 pounds. It's like a physical impossibility. I know I have been eating terribly, but I do believe a large portion of it is the fact that I have been eating snacks, and the snacks are just salt galore. So, and I know I can tell by the puffiness of my hands and all that, I don't feel that much bigger. I don't feel like it. Like when I mean, I literally, I hit 170, 170.5 is what the scale said today. It was 156.9 last Friday. How is that even possible? The fact that even half of it could be an actual weight gain, which would be happy in this situation that only half of it is actual weight gain, is still a pound a day for a week. I tell myself in my brain, I'm just going to eat this up, and once it's out of the house, it's gone. And that's true. I won't buy any of this crap and bring it into my house. But when it's in my home, I cannot resist not eating it. I'm just going to eat one meal a day. Oh, except that I see this stuff on the island, and I see this when I open the refrigerator. Water, I like see some of this other food in there, and then I'm thinking, well, the breadsticks are going to get old and hard if we don't eat them, and they're so delicious. What a waste to have it go to waste. I justify like you wouldn't believe. So this is what I did today. I decided to go ahead and look up symptoms of food addiction because I truly believe, can anyone else relate? No. Have you ever heard of anyone gaining 14 pounds in a week? No. Have you even heard people gain like 7 pounds in a week? No. No. People don't do that. I do. I have issues. I have issues that go beyond. Yes, I was enjoying eating the food. I was, but I'm sure a psychologist would have a heyday with me. There's some deep-seated issues that are causing me to feel like I now deserve this, and I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is, but man, I can, with the best of them, justify what I'm doing. All right, so I decided to look up food addiction, and this is what I found that was interesting. Out of all the addictions that are out there in the world, the DSM-4, or no, it's a DSM-5 now. Back in the day when I was a speech therapist, it was a DSM-4. So it's the diagnostic statistical manual? No, diagnostic symptom manual. I can't think of what the name of it is. I want to say it's statistical. I don't know why. Which is a DSM of disabilities and mental disorders. So it's like Bible of medical professionals. So it has the official definition and criteria for diagnosis for every medical condition there is. It's like this thick, if you've ever seen one. So the DSM-5 does not, which is the most up-to-date one, they update them, I don't know, they update them every like 5 to 10 years or something like that, does not have food addiction listed. Out of all the addictions that are in there, and let me tell you, the book is this thick and it's very small print. I'm like, it mentions everything in there. Food addiction is not listed. All right, but they do have some information on this Healthline site that I was reading online, and I thought I'd share with you because I could relate. All right. It basically says, although it is not an official diagnosis, people with food addiction problems typically have binge eating behaviors, cravings, and lack of control around food. Lack of control around food. Hello, that's me. All right, I apologize for my hair today. It was a really bad hair day. You know, the kids in China don't care. I don't shower till after the classes, so it's kind of doing its own thing. All right. So it says here are 8 common signs and symptoms of food addiction. So I'm just going to read the 8 and see if you can identify with them at all, and see if you also can relate or are in a situation like me where clearly I have a food addiction. And I see it as an addiction because when I'm not addicted to anything else. I've never been addicted to smoking, to drinking, to nothing. I could go on a drinking binge in an all-inclusive resort and have a gazillion drinks every night for 7 days straight and then stop for 9 months and not have. I could stop for 2 years and not have. I have no desire to have a drink. I just would happen to like be in a social situation and go, yeah, okay, I'll have a drink now. Zero bodily composition where it comes to addictive behaviors in general to almost anything except food. All right. First symptom of what this Healthline indicates is a food addiction, even though it's not an official diagnosis, according to medical doctors. Okay, number 1 is if you get cravings despite feeling full. I had that. This week I would sit there, my body, literally my stomach was full. I was not hungry. And then I thought, oh, that's right. I still have some of those chocolate mint dessert things down there. Oh, that would taste really good right now after this meal. And then I'd go have it. And then later on, I'm like, oh, there's still some more cheesy popcorn. That would taste good after the sweet to have something salty. I would eat even though I was completely full. I woke up this morning full. I'm still full right now. But it would be so easy for me to eat every single day after I finish my classes. I've gone downstairs and helped myself to an entire meal. So, yeah, 1 meal a day, out the window. Second symptom, eating much more than intended. I guess I give myself such a healthy portion of food that I don't really eat more than I intend, but sometimes I do go back. If I'm not feeling uncomfortably full, I will go back and get some more. So I guess I could fall into this situation. I don't make myself say I'm only going to eat this small amount. That's my problem right there. So had I given myself a normal portion, yes, I probably would go back and eat more than intended. Number 3, eating until feeling excessively stuffed. Yes, that's how my whole week has been. It's like Thanksgiving, day after day after day, reveling in the delicious food that is here in my house. And I have been made myself feel uncomfortable in terms of how much food I've put in my body every single day, starting over the last weekend. It was okay on Friday. I did eat more than I thought I was going to Friday night, but like I didn't eat anything all day up until dinner, so makes sense. But starting with Saturday, uncomfortable. It's no fun to be uncomfortable. Why would I let myself eat so much that I'm uncomfortable? This is why I think I have a problem. Number 4, feeling guilty afterward, but doing it again soon. Hello. Every time I finish, I was just like, I didn't need to eat that. And sometimes I'm even like, oh, it wasn't even that great this time. You know, when you're on hCG and you're eating such a small amount of food, every morsel and bite that goes in your mouth is such a pleasure and joy. And when you start binge eating, it's not pleasurable. It's not joyful. It's just, I mean, it's good at first, but then if you eat the amounts that I do, you get to the point that it's just habit. It's just shoveling it in for the sake of shoveling it in. And then you feel terrible about yourself afterwards, or I do anyway. So feeling guilty afterwards, but doing it again soon. Yes, because I will go back later the same day after I'm not physically uncomfortable anymore and go for another round. And then snack in between too. All right, number 5, making up excuses. Queen of making up excuses right here. Queen of making up excuses. I have got a reason. Well, this is the food in the house. I'm just going to eat it up. Once it's gone, it'll be fine. It's a special treat. I just went 30 days. I deserve it. Life is short. You know, I mean, you name it. I've got all the excuses. It's going to go bad. Who wants food to go bad? Why can't it go bad? Why can't it go bad and get thrown away as opposed to go in my body when it doesn't need it? I don't know, but my brain won't allow that to happen. Telling you, if I believed in reincarnation, I was somebody who clearly survived the depression. Barely. Because I have issues with wasting any kind of food. Okay. Sign number 6 are repeated failures at setting rules. Well, yeah, I mean, as soon as I get off hCG, I do good on hCG. I do, because I know that if I cheat, it's going to just be that much longer to get back on track. So within the parameters of being on the hCG diet, I can be successful. The minute those are taken away from me, and I'm left to my own devices to find another eating plan that works for me, out the window. Out the window. Repeated failures? Indeed. Let's say every single time I finish hCG diet, I am not good at doing maintenance. Number 7, hiding eating from others. Yes. This was more epic in the past. I was so embarrassed at the amount of food that I was eating. Not so hard to do that anymore because with the schedule of people coming and going in this house, they're not aware of what I'm eating at different times. So I can get away with that without really even hiding it. I can just kind of eat all day long. So yeah, day and night, whether there's people in the house, people are so busy doing their own thing that they're completely unaware of what I'm doing. So I used to hide it more when like the whole family was home. There were 5 people here because then people were more aware of where I was and what I was doing. But you know, the number of people in the house has dwindled, and so I can get away with it. So yeah, I guess I do technically hide it, but it's easy to hide it. Number 8 is unable to quit despite physical problems. This is the one that I don't identify with. If I were to go to the doctor and they said your blood pressure is way too high, you can't have salts or something like that, I would be able to. That's a parameter, like an hCG parameter for me. If you can't do this anymore. When the doctor says, hey, for your health, you shouldn't do this, that, and the other. You shouldn't eat high fat foods. You shouldn't eat as much spice, and you should be eating more vegetables and that. That doesn't help me. But if I had any kind of physical problems or ailments that were a result of eating, and eating could curb those and change it, I know that I could be successful in that. So number 8 is the one I don't identify with. All right. That was it. There were 8. Okay. So out of 8, I identify with 7 of the common symptoms of food addiction. I'm going to keep doing these videos. The more information I gather, I'm just going to share Maybe there's one person out there one day that reads something and goes, oh, I identify with that too. Or I identify with her. I'm going through the same thing. The struggle is real. It really is. So, here's to getting better. I mean, I really want to do hCG so bad, but you're really not supposed to. So I got to figure out another way to just be healthy before I do that. I need to together. I need to pull myself together. This is how I'm going to start. There have been a lot of desserts that have gone into this body over the past week. Those are completely gone now. Done. No more desserts. I'm going to start that today. After the way I've been eating for a week, I can't go to I'm just going to do OMAD. It's too hard. I feel still uncomfortable. Like it's almost hard for me to breathe in because I feel like my stomach is so full. But at the same time, literally during class, my stomach was growling. It was yesterday morning too. My body got so used to having so much food all the time that being awake for 2 to 3 hours, it was, and not having any food in it, it was kind of like, what's going on? You're used to feeding me all the time. So I got to figure out how to slowly get back to do it in a way that's doable, that I don't keep falling off the wagon. So day number 1, which is today, no more sugars. Gone. All I can have is salad and my chicken. I think there's 2 pieces of my favorite pizza left. I think I can resist the rest of the pizza that's in there. But boy, they had this Italian sausage on this pizza that is like huge hunks of it. Oh, it's so good. And even reheated, the whole thing is soft, even the crust. It's just divine. So I will allow myself that today. And we'll see what the scale says tomorrow. I'm going to try to cut out the snacks too. We'll give that a shot. First things first, absolutely no desserts today. That's my plan. Baby steps, one day at a time. There's not a whole lot of snacks left in this house. So I know that that's a big part of the water retention. So I know that that would help me significantly. But you know what? I need to do what I need to do. I'll try to get on the treadmill too. I don't know why it's so hard to get back on the bandwagon of doing that. But, I think a big part of it is the weather outside. Huge snowstorm came through again yesterday. So the desire, the thought of summer and summer clothes seems so far gone from where I am right now. And I know it's only a couple months away, but it just seems like we are in the dead of winter. And we are. It's February in Northeast Ohio. It's cold and snowy. All right. So that's it. Real talk here. If you can identify it all, let me know. Make me feel better. And back on the bandwagon. Here we go. I'm going to start cutting things out day by day by day until I can do hCG again with enough time in between that I feel like it is safe. I have about a half a bottle of drops left. So, and that will lead into the summer months when it's way easier for me to stay thinner because my shorts won't fit if I don't. So here we go. I don't even know what round this is. That would be my round what? Round 3 on hCG the next time I do it? Jeez. All right. True confessions all. I can't believe I just admitted all those numbers right on this. Hopefully that will help me stay on track. Bye, everybody.